presented by the New Eureka Poets Cafe. I'm your host for the evening. My name after the words. And those of you who are familiar with what we do here on Monday night, you will open mic video. Where's the open? You just up with it. Oh, I got muted. Did I get muted? Let me see if you guys can hear me. Sorry
No,
about the
you're all
technical
good.
difficulties. I'm good.
Yeah, you just lagged a little bit. You might want to restart that.
Okay, no, that's because La Bruja had called me and I'm on my phone. So I called her and told her, like, oh, maybe you could host. But what we're going to do is we have Mr. Chris Lopez, who's going to be doing tech and producing. And he hasn't been with us, he hasn't been with us in a long time. And actually, I think he was the first person I worked with when I did the open mic. So we are going to make this work. And we have an awesome lineup. And I see a lot of people who have signed up that haven't been on the open mic list in a while. And there's so much I want to tell you, but I've got to do some work behind the scenes. So I want to get our open mic going. And first up is Catherine Bedan. Chris, can we unmute Catherine?
Hi, Eric. It is so great to be here. I have been busy being dizzy, literally, like almost passing out for a month. I didn't know what was going on. Too many sleeping pills. Anyway, it's great to be here, and I couldn't get in last week, but I ended up being first this time. There is a God. So I have a two-parter, but I do short stuff. And so I kind of combined my favorite personas with this week's theme, I Got My Eye on You, and I hope they sort of go together. So here goes nothing. And it's so great to see everybody, by the way. Wow, I missed you. Lieutenant Columbo, Sherlock Holmes, D.I.C. Barnaby, C.C., Felix the Cat, Sylvester, Bugs and Daffy. Wow, wacky. Batman, Spider-Man, Casper the Friendly Ghost. Well, no. But her story, Charlize Theron, Angelina Jolie, Kate Blanchett, yes. Rocky and Bullwinkle, Spy versus Spy, Boris and Natasha Darling, oh my. Dracula, Lestat, and Armand? Only because vampires are way cooler than werewolves. They hide their blood, you know, down their necks in neat little vials, not displayed all over their mouths and ugly caricatures vile. In her story, it's the Avenger, Sorceress, Angel, Saint. But now in my story, it's all of the above, but without all the pain. So let's begin. I got my eye on you, my third eye, that is, because my organic human eyes can sometimes lie and deceive. My human eyes often show me only what I want to see, not what really is. My body eyes can become clouded and doubled with an imaginative objective that might not entirely be grounded in any sort of real truth or reality, instead based only in my fantasies. But my third eye always knows. My third eye is what helps me grow. My third eye is absolute in its convictions and reappropriation of the truth. So how come I only tap into it when I'm feeling down or sad or confused? Because if I were to ask it for answers on a daily basis, I'd probably be in heaven by now. I'd probably be a huge success by now. I'd probably be happy and content. But I'm not, although I'm working on it. What happens is I forget all about my unseen third eye and then go about making my life decisions based solely on what I visually see on the outside. Sometimes I always even seem to ask other people for what they think about things and what do they see with their normal human eyes. As if their perspective is any better or clearer or more accurate than the delusion of my own two eyes. And well, sometimes I do get their opinions, and that doesn't really help me at all. That only adds another layer of confusion and self-doubt. Oh, Jiminy Criminy, oh, rat's ass, but nope. It's my third eye I've got on you now, my friends. It's my third eye which really sees what's going on, sees the divine plan. Yes, it's my third eye which knows that I know what I know and that all is that I know. Now, how do I stay focused on that inner guiding light? How do I stay centered in that blissful focus point of intuition, inner knowledge, and real sight? For that's the only way I can connect with the real you, looking at you from the real me. Yeah, I got my eye on you. Now, can you please go within and take a good look at the real me too? Everyone's very silent out there.
Unmute yourselves and give it up for Catherine the Dan.
Catherine.
Hi.
Nicely done, Cal.
Catherine, you started off, Catherine. Nice, nice.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
Oh boy, yes, yes.
Thought you were doing mime for a moment. Okay, here I am. CatherinePadan.com. All my stuff is up there. And it's so great to be back. It's so great to see y'all.
Oh, I'm unmuted. Oh wait, there I am. Okay, cool. All right, now I can see you. Now, again, I'm sorry, I'm still working out the kinks. That was Catherine Badan. Catherine, make sure you put your information into the chat so that people can follow you. Those of you checking this out on Facebook or YouTube and you want to join us on Zoom, oh, there it is, Catherine Badan. When you spell Badan, it's BADIN.com. Check the Zoom chat. For those of you who are checking this out on YouTube and Facebook, you can join us on Zoom at 279-995-364, 279-995-364. Okay, Chris, I don't have the list in front of me. Do you have it? Or do I have to close this? I'm gonna get
Give me 2 seconds.
Okay, because I know Catherine was first. Because Catherine actually hasn't been on here in a while because of it's been getting crazy. I know that the open mic list has been getting crazy. I've been working on it, talking with people, trying to figure out how we can do this differently. Wait, I'm opening up the list right now. Oh, it's Gigi. I should have remembered that. Mary Blenderman is after Gigi. So that is Melinda. That's who we have to unmute, Melinda. Melinda Blanchard.
Hello.
There we go, Gigi.
Hi.
I'm sorry. It's been a while since I've worked with like someone in production and tech. I forgot. Like I gotta be more vocal to Chris. But okay, we're up to Gigi. And Gigi, for anyone who doesn't know, she gets live. She is standing up performing, and I love it. Go ahead, Gigi. The floor is yours.
All right. I have 2 poems. The first one is called Bows and Arrows, and the second one is called Eyes in Glass Jars. So bows and arrows, just a preface. Juno is the Roman god of marriage, and Cupid is the god of love. All right. Bows and arrows. I am dusting off the walls of the temples neglected. Juno, I'd like to apologize. I have no idolatries or love, but simply an apology. I am not bowing at your altar, but I have slit the throat of Cupid. His aim shot lovers to me who only shot me back, not with passion or love, but with emptiness and yearning for what love really was. Juno, I have a confession. I can see why you, the goddess of marriage and the god of love, are separate entities. You are not the same thing, dear Juno. I should have been leaving flowers for you instead of letting a man decide who should love me. This is an apology. I have strapped his bows. I am no longer waiting. I am sitting, aiming for a woman with flowers in her eyes, bow steady in hand. Dear future wife, I promise when the arrow hits you, the blood of the bow is not mine nor yours. I have fought the gods to find you. And then the second one, Eyes in Glass Jars. I haven't quite perfected an elixir for love that lasts. Lust, though, is the easiest of charms. It is coy talks, swaying of your walk. I will mouth your name like a song sang after too much wine, slurred and slippery, yet leaves you wanting to pour another glass. I have my eye on you, lover, be warned of a woman who gives her heart to witches for pleasure, now searching for another. I cannot promise you the words that leave my lips whispering into your ears, if they are sweet poetry or your eulogy. When you speak my name, know like licking lead, it will be sweet and maddening. Inamardo of now, no, I will look at you with zealous eyes, knowing that one day you will wish to leave me, my brief paramour. Know that I do not have the potion for love, but I possess the potion for immortality, and it includes eyes of those who could not love me forever, kept in glass jars, along with the tongues of lovers who spoke of love with deception. Thank you.
Let's unmute everyone so that we can give it up for Gigi. I saw a bunch of people typing into the chat. Everyone who performs, make sure that you check out the Zoom chat afterwards. You can see all the nice things people are saying about them. So did we get them unmuted? Or are we gonna have to what the?
Gigi, a lemon
Yes.
twist.
Yo, G.
Yes, yes,
Hey,
yes.
hey, way to bring it. So, hey,
Nice.
GG.
Woo!
Ridiculous.
Yay.
You're insane.
Let's unmute Gigi one time so she can let the people know where she can find them online. And again, it's Melinda Blanchard.
He got it.
Yeah.
You can find me on Instagram at iron_resilience, and stay tuned. There will be a website coming soon. Have a good night, everyone. I can't wait to hear all the poetry.
Awesome. Thank you, Gigi. That is Gigi. Okay, I think this is what we're gonna have to do for tonight. I think that what we're gonna have to do is you're gonna have to let the people know where you can find where they can find you online before you begin your poem. This way we don't have to keep going back and forth. So with that being said, can we unmute Mary Blenderman? Mary is next.
Hi.
There we go, Mary Blenderman. Okay, Mary, let the people know where they can find you, and then you can do your poem. Go ahead.
Great, got this. Okay, so where you can find me is easy. It's just here on the New Eurekan on Monday nights. I'm so grateful for this space. The poem that I'm gonna read, I started writing for the theme last week, and then I didn't make it last week. So, but that was okay, because as I kept writing it, it sort of evolved into being not just about history, but also about what we look at, how we see ourselves and the world. And I'll tell you a little of the story of this poem before I read it for you. So this past Christmas, I asked my mother for the first time if I could see her wedding pictures, and she showed them to me. And in one of the biggest group pictures, there was one woman at like the very edge of the photo who was not white, and everyone else in the photo was white. And I asked my mother, like, who is this woman? Like, what happened? And the story she told me made me see my mother differently, made me see my family differently, myself differently. And this poem kind of came out of that. So content-wise, there's nothing graphic, but it deals with racism thematically, just so you know. Yeah, so this poem is called Excuses. Epigraph. People are trapped in history, and history is trapped in them. James Baldwin. My mother's wedding album is a china cabinet full of porcelain girls, all a matching alabaster, unshattered by shadows cast by the past and the present. And a wedding should be a gift. a wrapped up loveliness uncluttered by other and uglier concerns. But even though love can drive out hate, it can also unlock the door and pat the passenger seat. Old confusion. What is love in the heart of a bigoted person? A disguise? A lottery? A withering attempt at growth, or the cloud of breath on a mirror, the part of you that keeps the rest of you comfortably blurry? Turn of a page. My mother stands by her father on the grass, his face like mismatched dishes, smiling mouth and frowning eyes. Already he has done the bitter bartering to keep this wedding white as his daughter's gown, refused to walk her down the aisle if a darker woman walked before them. She was my mother's best friend before the wedding. The porcelain bridesmaids are all alabaster because she is not there. She is tucked in the margin of the largest group picture, her lovely smile radiating from her mahogany face. New confusion. I come from the kind of white people who would let a Black woman hand out programs but not hold flowers and act like it was some majestic benevolence. My mother says her father grew up in a different time. I wonder what violence lies behind us, what graves for Black dignity were dug with my ancestors' shovels. I do not pray to them. Racism is not genetic, but it is inherited. I pray to become unselfish, to stop breathing on the mirror, to stare shocked at what is ugly in me, to start by seeing clearly.
Heavy. Can we unmute everyone so we can get some?
Damn, Mary, that's how you drop it on them, Mary. Damn.
Crazy.
For
So
real.
good.
For real, that's how you drop it.
Nice.
Amazing.
That was
Amazing.
really
Nice.
necessary. So glad to hear you say all of that.
Thank you, Mary. I got muted. I kept trying to mute myself. Okay, so as you heard from Mary, you can find Mary here every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. Thank you for Mary Blenderman representing Pittsburgh. Mary always brings it. This is your first time checking us out. Where have you been? This is episode number 44. Every week we have a new theme. If you want to find out the themes, and usually I put it on the screen. I don't have my laptop working at the moment, but I did put it up on my Instagram and my Facebook, Twitter. You can look me up, Advocate of Words. You spell words. That is with a Z. Thank you for Mary Blenderman, always bringing it. Next up is Trisha De Jesus, and after Trisha is Roz. So can we unmute Trisha De Jesus?
Good evening, everyone. I am Trisha De Jesus Gutierrez, and I can be found on Instagram, Finn_Bell, that's PHYNNE_BELLE. I also wanted to point out that on the Finn Cabaret podcast, which is my podcast, we have Unmesh Mohitkar, but tomorrow we drop a brand new episode, and it is with Elemental the Poet. So this poem is a jukebox poem. It was a challenge from a friend of mine, Lacan, the poet. He wanted us to do jukebox poetry. I had to look this up, find out what it was, and I did my own twist on it. So I love show tunes, Broadway, Disney. And one of my favorite Disney movies is Mulan, because I could kind of relate with her. She was the first Asian face, I guess, I saw that looked similar to mine. And then the song, one of the major songs in the movie is Reflections. And I cried the first time I heard that because it made me think about myself as a Filipino daughter and how I never felt like I'll measure up to my parents' ideals, that I'm not quite Filipino enough, that I'm not ever going to be the perfect daughter. So this is called Further Reflections on Not Being Pinay Enough. Look at me. I will never pass for a perfect bride or a perfect daughter. Can it be? I'm not meant to play this part. Now I see, if I were truly to be myself, I would break my family's heart. I say, look at me, but I don't truly want you to see. I want you to superimpose a pert nose, a figure, bayabas or sampalok tree, slender and tall, not the stout, ground-hugging trunk I was given. Though the salted water of the ocean, karagatan, na tumitira sa tuktok ng ulo ko, blew easterly winds, benediction in my direction, naming me native daughter. Our collective colonial mentality could not spy me past the translucence found inside mestisang bangos that also ordained my crowning glory should be the exact replica of a regal baby's buhok palmolive. My Tio punctuated my tropical fever initiation into a newborn life, brown nestled among brown, with oddest premonition, seeing the sweat beads gather on my nose and making the prediction that I would marry early, but this still did not make me the store-bought picture of domesticity. I failed at that too. Too many pots were stirred while singing top 40s, the stifling heat of a stovetop, my captive audience. This still did not make me a meek and obedient daughter. I couldn't comply, Daddy. I couldn't fashion this disaster into a child who you could show off to relatives and acquaintances. The world was seducing me and waiting outside our door, and the prepackaging of this provincial life boxed me in, cellophane wrapping tight. Excuse me. Wrong tale, naturally. I cannot be that Disney princess either. I am not meant to play this part. Who is that girl I see? I am careful concentration as I drink in her every feature. Why does her face take shape inside my mind, but step just out of reach when I try to meet her? Does anyone know this impudent woman and why she finds it so amusing to be staring straight back at me? She is me. She is not. You are lying. Why is my reflection someone I don't know? Upon my pale arms are lovely scars of my own creation. Barot saya, merely blur the racier edges ng katawan ko. Somehow, I cannot hide who I am, though I've tried. When will my reflection show who I am inside? Thank you.
Trisha De Jesus. Can we unmute everyone so we can get some love?
Wow.
No.
Nicely done.
Damn, Trisha.
Original.
Damn. That's how you bring that. That's
That you follow.
Wow.
Mute myself. You can follow her online, PHYNNEBELLE, Finn Bell. She also she does podcasts. She hosts her own open mic. She knows her stuff. She knows her poetry. So, Testimony, Paz Griot, and Ray Jane are on deck. But right now, we're gonna hear it from Rosalind Diaz, who, if you follow her on Facebook, she got a lot of work done today. So she about to go in. So we should. There we go. There's Roz. Go ahead,
Hi.
Roz. Where they can find you and then get into your poem. Go ahead.
You guys can find me at Through Her Big Brown Eyes on Instagram, and I also have throughherbigbrownyes.com, which I've updated now after so long. My piece is called 2020 Vision ×3, Note to Self. No longer being viewed through her big brown eyes, this is much deeper. based on more than the amount of light that enters the eye and a healthy iris. I just want to take you in, considering more than just the physical. Congratulations, your flaws are now mythical. You are perfectly designed. The mastery of the third eye can be magical, even if you were blind to your own potential. May your vibe always be influential. May you always be mesmerized by cotton candy skies and silenced by the beauty of the moon. May you one day learn to separate your feelings from those of others in a room. May you lower the volume of the chatter in your head. Put self-doubt and limiting thoughts to bed. 2020 cleared your vision. You followed your intuition, and now you've made the decision to ascend. Not asking permission or trying to make people comprehend anything that makes you, you. So artful, so unrepeatable. Look into the mirror, repeat your affirmations. Wildest dreams turned manifestations. The glow up is overdue. Girl, I've got my third eye on you. End poem.
What? Come on, let's unmute everyone so we can give it up for Roz.
Wow. Oh, Roz.
Guys,
Yo,
I
Roz.
love it.
Bring
Killing it,
that.
Rob.
Yes, Roz.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
Welcome back.
Welcome back, Roz.
Thank you guys.
Thank you. There we go. Thank you, Roz. You can check out Roz through her big brown eyes all over the social medias, through her big brown eyes, and through her bigbrowneyes.com. As you heard, she updated her website. So Paz Griot is next. And Ray Jane is on deck. And who's after Ray? Who's after Paz though? There's some, testimony. But first we're gonna go with Paz. Is Paz here?
Yeah. Oh,
there we go. Oh,
okay.
I heard him for a
I'm
second.
here. Hi, everyone. Okay. Good to see you all. Is it working?
Yep, it's working.
Okay.
Go ahead, Paz. Let
So,
the people know where they can find you, and then
yeah. Hi, everyone. So you can check me on my website, pazgrio.com. I'll put in the chat box. And with the theme of eyes, this poem is called Tunnel Vision. Ain't no telling what we'll do when our subway comes through and our rhythm sparks the wires with the pulse of our power. Do you feel the velocity of our vivacity? Did you ever dream we would witness the light at the end of our tunnel vision? I want to devour all your images. I want to leave my haiku on your tender areas. I want to sleep in the words you speak. I want to laugh at your shadow. I want to drop seeds and rhymes for you. I want to tattoo your eyes. I want to break and enter. I want to come out of hiding and into your realm. I want to shake my religion and scratch through the ceiling. I want to embrace these colors and enhance this feeling. I want to love ambiguity because it's more than drugs you're dealing. I felt the darkness and the weight of this fallen wall. I felt my body bleed beneath the cars on the street, and now I'm pushing back against engines and glass. Last night you looked like chicken shit, but I was hungover. This ain't no AA meeting, and I don't need to stay sober. Take me through the tunnels. Don't let go of these trembling hands or these grimacing eyes that mourn and see the world through tunnel vision. I might fall through the tracks and crush under the rushing bodies. Catch me when I crash, and don't overreact. When I stop making sense, when I curse the ground I'm crawling on, when I spit at rising demons, when I break out in scriptures. Sing your melodies and build a sanctuary outside the traffic for my wounds to expose and my voice to heal. My tunnel vision is about to derail. End poem.
What? Let's unmute everyone so we can give it up for Paz. Loved it, man. Loved it.
Nice,
Yes,
nice
Paz.
way to come
So
through,
That was
good.
man.
interesting.
Nice,
I like that.
nice,
Congrats.
man.
High coup line was pretty cool.
Thank you.
Thank
Good to
you,
see you all.
Paz. Make sure, here we go. Make sure that even though we're saying where we can find ourselves before we begin our poems, after we're done, please make sure you go into the Zoom chat and put that information. You know, we're human beings. It's 2020. We're lazy with all our tech. We like to copy and paste. So make it easy for people to follow you. Do that. Thank you, Paz. And Paz is in Istanbul, right? Like he should be in his third REM dream right now, whatever. REM sleep by now, but he's staying up with us. Love it. Next coming up, on deck is Ray Jane. And I'm sorry to Testimony. For some reason, I call Paz instead of Testimony. Testimony is supposed to be next. Can we unmute her? She is under probably Monet Gray or Gray Monet, but her name, her stage name is Testimony. And she's been killing it. I think it's gonna be like her third or fourth time on here. Is she here?
Yeah, you're muted.
I was muted.
No, she's unmuted.
I don't hear her.
Do you hear me?
Now I hear, and I see you. I hear you and see you. Go ahead. So, Testimony, please let people know where they can find you and then bless us with your poem.
Okay, guys, you can find me at Testimony. That's everywhere. So whether it's Facebook, Instagram, Amazon, everything. Testimony. It's spelled Testi, Monet, Monet. It's a play on words for testimony. Tonight I am going to I'm going to stick with the theme. I've got my eye on you. This poem is based off of my rendition of how Adam meets Eve. So the first couple, Adam and Eve, and him telling the story of how he first laid his eyes on Eve. And I don't know, I'm sure everyone is familiar with the Adam and Eve story, but I don't think a lot of people know that before Eve, God told him that he can actually have a helpmeet, which would be one of the animals. So before he actually chose Eve, one of the animals was supposed to be his mate. So I am going to share this poem on how Adam met Eve and him first laying his eyes on her. Okay. I was the first man ever created out of the dust. God took his own hand, dug into the earth's crust, then he fashioned my torso. Man, I look just like the creator. He took his time, there was no rush. Speaking of rush, I'm lonely. There was no crush. I need a companion. Lord, I don't mean to fuss. I need someone to love. I need someone to trust. I can't take this. Then God said, boy, hush. It's not good that man should be alone. I'll make you something perfect. Your mind's gonna be blown. Sit down, take a seat. Adam, you gotta chill. And then he made every beast in the field. And then he made every fowl in the air. And then he made every fish, every creature. I must admit, they all had beautiful features. And then he told me it's time for me to name them. And then when you're done, pick one, you can claim them. I was hurt. I don't know if God felt me, but I don't want to claim an animal to be my helpmeet. I know a dog is a man's best friend, but let the sleeping dogs lie. I don't want kids with them. This giraffe makes me laugh. I'll dismiss it. The neck is too long. How am I supposed to kiss it? I won't address the elephant that's in the room, but Lord, how you going to assume I'm going to marry a baboon? I mean, the eagle and the swan is very lovely, but how is it a catch when it's flying above me? I don't want a boar. I don't want an anteater. I want a faithful wife. I don't want a cheater. The bear is unbearable. The lion is lying. Is this the best you got? You wasn't trying. I'm done, Lord. I'm a clock out. Then God put me to sleep. I was knocked out. The Lord performed open heart surgery and took the bone of the rib that was protecting it. And then he crafted the most immaculate soul. I mean, believe me, he perfected it. I woke up and I saw this alluring and charming being standing right in front of me. I was mesmerized. I was hypnotized. I saw her and I knew she was the one for me. I'ma call this one woman. Why? Because woo man, from the top of a crown, pretty hair flowing down, I can never mess around with this woo man. Her forehead is so shapely, her eyebrows arched, her beauty just takes me. Woo man, her almond eyes are my surprise. I look at them and they captivate me. Woo man, her high cheekbones accentuates her nose and her breath elates me. Woo man, yes, I'm in bliss. Her lips, I want to kiss. You get the gist. I call her woo man. Your chin is so fragile. I look at your neck. I don't see an Adam's apple. Woo man. Your shoulder blades are broad enough to go through any escapade with you. Woo man. Your upper arms is such a charm. You hug me to keep me from harm. Woo man. Your wrists and your hands are for touching and loving. Girl, you are something. Woo man. Let's go back to your torso. Your Coke bottle shape makes you a complete morsel. Woo man. When I look at your chest, Solomon said it best when he talks about your breast, girl. Woo man. Then go down to your navel. Your skin's so soft, so glad God made you. Woo man. The best part of your anatomy. Can talk about it though. Feminists gonna get mad at me. Woo man. Your thighs so thick it makes me sick when I try to think of it. You are woo man. I perceive your needs were made to pray for me in a time of need. You are woo man. Your ankles are so sweet when you walk to me. You sweat me off my feet. I call you woo man. What else can I say? What else to relay? Matter of fact, hey, turn around real quick. I looked at her booty and said, woo man, your booty's a beauty, a cutie, your duties to do whatever suits me. I don't mean to be rude, but the way it protrudes make me want to subdue you, boo. I don't want you to be mad at me. Your body just flatters me. Baby girl, will you marry me? And that's how Adam met Eve. And it's God's greatest creation. It's man's notable elation. Eve was simply breathtaking. God literally saved the best for last. And yes, a woman is the best, that's clear. Because if Adam didn't choose her, all the men out there would walk home with the grizzly bear. Woo man! And that's how Adam met Eve. Thank you.
Let's get everyone unmuted.
Oh, man, you better come with that fire.
It's over.
Damn.
Over. God damn.
Walking around tomorrow.
Damn.
Woo,
This is
man.
ridiculous. Woo, man.
Testimony got the people going crazy right now. And also, Chris Lopez, I figured out, brother, how to be able to mute people. I'm still going to need you to unmute everyone, but I'm going to be able to mute them. We'll be able to do that smooth. Testimony. Make sure you put your information into the Zoom chat so that the people can see. Those of you on Facebook and YouTube, if you want to join us, the number is 279-995-364, 279-995-364. We've got a good open mic going so far. Okay, so on deck is Lynn Lane and Vale Larkin. Right now, we need to unmute the queen, Ray Jane. I don't know if anyone could have followed that poem by Testimony, but if anyone can, it's Ray Jane. Can we get Ray Jane unmuted?
What's up?
Yeah, she's here. Ray, let the people know where they can find you and then bless us with your poem.
All right. I'm going to try to follow that, but that was spectacular, man. Spectacular. If you would like to follow me, you can find me at 3_4 clairvoyant on Instagram and all of my content at itsrayjane.com. And I'll put everything in the chat. All right. This one is called You See Me. Damn. You acting like you know what you got in your hands. Something that calms you, allows you to touch free, to be boundless. You ran up on something delicate, inviting your wildness, daring you to release the moans of your gutters. You have a diamond to protect. that let herself soften in your palms. She treats you like a tree, marveling at your height, but expecting your stature, raising it. You wise as you are, know she is a queen, destined to mother your dreams. She is birth, pushing you into reality, yet continually surrounding you in her warm water. You have met the womb. And damn it if it don't seem like you know. She allows you to hunt her. She gifts you with the wind, but not outright. Ever aware, she presents you insight. You give gratitude for her grace, offer your weakness, for blood is not enough. She fears manipulation, so you sacrifice your safety. Your trust is her catnip. Her love is fueled by it, perpetually grounded by what you do for it. For her, preferably unsolicited, she challenges you to properly present yourself, to have courage, to walk like a king, not foolish enough to consider conquering her, conscious of that folly. Instead, you pull her to you. Lift her finger so she doesn't have to. Unveil the beast that frightens you because it excites her. Becoming armor, you shower her with protection, stretch it forward, growing more certain of the thinning list of what you won't do. This, it, her, she consumes. Great brown creature, odd and spectacular, peculiarly precise, terrifyingly thoughtful. Your hesitations now balanced, she plucks Ma'at's feathers, but never judges you, lifting you above the seas you've made of doubt. Wondrous in her solitude, but asking you for who you are. Without exception, but you are falling for her speedy rebuttal, her demand for desires that she moves. Sure that you will deliver, knowing, as you always do, how she has slowed to be caught by you. Thank you.
Ooh, let's get everyone unmuted so we can give some love to
Wow.
Nicely
Ray
done,
J.
Ray J.
Wow.
Pretty good.
Man, look,
Anytime.
man.
Anytime.
Yes,
You just
Queen.
ripped. You just
Bowing down to the
ripped.
queen.
This is why we call her Queen Ray Jane. You click her online. It's rayjane.com. Her SoundCloud has like over 60 recordings of her performing. Make you check her out. It's rayjane.com. Next coming up is Lynn Lane. Val Larkin is on deck, and then Matthew Marroquin. I think I said his name right. Let's get Lynn Lane unmuted. You there, Lynn?
Now it's unmuted. I kept trying.
There we go. There we go. Please let
All
people
right.
know where they can find you. Then give us your poem, sir.
All right, so I'll keep it short. You can find me at Lynn Lane Arts, which is my new poetry page on Instagram. And then inside there's a little link tree and you can find a bunch of other stuff. And then Lynn Lane on Facebook. And I'll put a bunch of things in the chat. All right, so some of you know I was born and raised in Texas, but I lived in New York for a couple of decades. And so I'm back in Texas now. So this kind of is a little Southern twist on our story. I was a beat up old rusty white Caprice classic, barreling down a dark and lonesome highway whose stripes were painted by the sins of a long haul trucker just surviving on speed and donuts. She was the fading green neon light in an all night greasy spoon that reeked of cheap beer, half-smoked cigarettes in a room filled with shattered dreams and broken hearts just trying to get by on her looks or what little she had left. Our lives couldn't be more different, yet they were almost the exact same. We were both a single vinyl chair dining room. We were both a single vinyl chair dining room with no need for a second cup at the table. Somehow we found each other though. Like a cheap bottle of wine finds its lips finds its way to the lips of a broken down preacher who no longer believes in God, but still goes to church because that's all he knows. The night was young and the grits were cold. I grabbed her by the arm, pulled her in close and whispered, "There's got to be something better than this. Let's get out of this dive." She dropped her apron like she'd been waiting to get out of there for years. Together, we were a heroin-soaked joint that promised a slow dying freedom held between the tobacco-stained fingers of a forgotten four-chord bluesman, singing the songs of our sorrows to no one. There was a lonely aging waitress with smeared makeup and a booze-stained dress passed out cold at the bar, and a bartender who hadn't served a setup in hours, who just wanted to go home. But home didn't have a name or an address. She was whoever would have pity on him. And on this night, he was all alone. Tonight, we would drive these back roads with our headlights turned off, radio blaring, old honky tonk, hoping to find eternity, or at least a quick end to our pain. As the lights came up, last call had long since passed. The bartender leaned over, handed us our bill. The only thing on it was a broken cross filled with empty promises and, "This one's on the house. You both need it. Jesus saves."
Lane, let us unmute everyone.
I was
Right
really
on.
good.
That last line was
Soft tunes
a
blaring
smash on
next
him,
my
man.
life genre.
Dope, man.
Lane, fantastic as always. He started off just listening to poetry, and then one day he stuck his toe in the water, and that's it. He got addicted. So I love having him back. I'm glad that he was able to get on because I know he's got class and he's dipping in real quick. Appreciate him. And if you looked in the background, you can see he's a photographer, and he had his setup right there. And that is because the New Eureka Poets Cafe sells merchandise, and Marissa Prada had asked for the New Eureka Poets Cafe underwear. So Lynn promised me we're going to do a shoot. When we get that done, I will let everyone know. Okay, let me see if I can do this on my phone. Instagram, what URL? No, can't. Okay, I was going to try to share my screen. It's not working. But next coming up is, I have Vale Larkin, and then it's Paul Con Queso, and then Matthew Maraquin. So first, let's get Vale Larkin unmuted. Also, the topic for next week is breakup. Breakup is the topic for next week. There is the trendsetter. Okay, trendsetter, let the people know where they can find you online, and then let's hear your poetry.
My links are in the Instagram, or my links are in the Instagram. My links are in the chat. On Instagram, it's Vale Larkin, all one word. On Facebook, it's vale.larkin.writes. And I'm going to read a couple poems today that are, I guess, kind of on the theme. They're Valentine's Day poems. Okay. Song for the Electric Body. Walt, you beautiful lunatic. You sing the body blue and unruly, because coolness, when slicked onto thin, sweet flesh, can melt our skins into sync, can keep the fire oozing thick and delicious from your mouth, my hands, your clenched, my wet, raw, back and forth again and again. You sing this body so hard you break it. Scream till it shatters from the vibrating pressure, from the fucking unexpected. You sing shocks through my skin, my grip switches, you electrify. We slide, sparking. I sometimes sing cerulean into your lips while you sing into me. No words, no melody, none of those. Only rhythm and the beat of our frantic breathing. We sing the body into submission, into subversion, into all the aching wreckage of our seething, heedless current. And then there's love and other diagnoses. This is my pandemic Valentine's Day poem. I miss sex and romance. I didn't for quite a while. I didn't. I feel as though my body is waking up right when it can go nowhere and touch no one. I find myself hungering for imaginary love, more graspable now than erstwhile life. I wonder if I'll ever make love to anyone, to any tender flesh and breath again. The clock is counting down, and there is no such thing as saving time. I don't want to be bound. No, I want to be bound, but to the stake and not away from it. I want the kind of kiss that fills your chest and steals your breath gloriously and all at once. I want hands so light as they beg for yes, and the grasp and grip of unleashed fingertips. I want to taste heat from the coal bed, passion from the spring, everything. I want to hold on to writhing life, carrying its rough motion up in my arms and over the drop with me. I want to prove for one racked moment that I have not burned without leaving a mark.
What? Unmute everyone to give it up for Bill.
Damn,
Wow.
Vale.
Damn, Vale.
That was too good.
Damn,
I think your
Vale.
best ever.
Damn.
Excellent.
Damn.
That last line though.
Those were dope.
What a way to end that poem. What? Vale Larkin, make sure that you follow Vale. Trendsetter, that's what I'm saying, trendsetter. Follow Vale. The information is in the Zoom chat. So like I was saying before, the theme for next week is breakup. And after that, in 2 weeks, the theme is advocate of words. That Monday is the day after my birthday. I am not looking for poems about me. I'm looking for poems about what people think the not necessarily the name, but what is an advocate of words to you? Poetic license, flip it how you want. Matthew Marroquin is on deck. After Matthew, it is Unmesh Mohitkar, but right now we're going with Paul Gonque. So where is Paul? Let's get Paul unmuted. I think it's Paul Lattori. I think that's his Zoom. There he is.
Yes, they just throw out my government. It's not the same. It doesn't vibe the same. How you doing, Advocate?
I'm good. Paul, let the people know where they can find you first, and let's hear you rock it.
Y'all can follow me at Paul Conqueso on Instagram. I'm at an Instagram temporary prison. And I don't care what you say about next week. 2 weeks from now, I'm gonna write a love poem to you in spite of the withdrawn and his not, is all gonna be about beard love. All right. So this is my piece, kind of on theme, even though I started writing it before I even knew what the theme was. This is called Open House. When I go to stores, I walk toward automatic doors and don't get recognized. Reckon I'm a spectral presence who can't reconcile its own lingering. A half-diseased, half-deceased astral calamity dying to be seen on movie screens, a waking apparition bringing with it baggage so mammoth it makes demons. An exorcist flicks looks like child play. These possessed entities inhabit my anatomy, inflicting all the damage one can manage like grand larceny, and some twisted part of me fuses with Joe Goldberg, only instead of getting stalked home, you get Stockholm syndrome where your body is not home because trauma is a haunted house. Not quite abandoned, just condemned, a prison cell, dwelling in triggers or cobweb doors. You may find yourself entering at any time, unwilling and unwantingly, where hostile hostage memories line the walls like dark rooms developing, the kitchen floor littered with refuse, remnants, and recipes for disaster, nostalgia lining the corridors, acting as insulation to keep them warm, and beyond the threshold, that front door, lie chalk outlines of where innocent took its dying breaths, turn right into the living room where nostrils fill with that mothball scent, ears shrouded with crinkle of plastic wrapped couches, making this space much more akin funeral parlor than anything named for the living. Abuse in the attic, masking tape to toe tagged, stored and bagged away, abandonment issues stacked in closets, insecurity in the crawl space, body dysmorphic disorder flooding foundation with thoughts impossible to unpack or compartmentalize, like parsing body image from rape or your very first time, trying to figure whether all this scar tissue is the issue or it's the viscera in my head. Freudian slips of tongue bathing amygdala in false recollect, these frayed wires misfiring, misremembered tremors replaying in head, the toxic ex, the partner, the relative slipping hands into dark recesses while in the basement's damp, dank mustiness so dim lit with blurred edges of suppressed memories palm, preventing mouth from calling out. Or maybe it's all my fault, digging too deep trying to self-diagnose, manifesting hope, analyzing coordinates, throttling life from my own exhaust manifold, mistaking sex drive for death drive, with third eye blind, I redline, begging to find what's left when I've killed all my darlings. Wreck diving into weaponized hauntings we salvage and laminate just to place in poems about longing, songs and belonging, the area want to be part of some world just out of reach, but when the shore's at your feet, you realize the sea behind can be awful green, wishing you kept the receipt for legs, could get flippers back, caught in the skin trap of comparison. Realizing that even on land, we all float upon jealousies of envy green, that thief of joy, well aware, living in head is a spectrum. And I turn every color from red through violet at least 7 times a week, because we all live in a yellow submarine of suffering, coloring books with paint of our own discovery, ascent, downfall, and recovery, kissing ass and stitching together legions of human centipeding, fleeting thoughts eating at me, digging inside to find what lies beneath, pet cemeteries of bones bequeathed, 13 ghosts beset on Crimson Peak of overlooked hotels, baited motels, neglected by caretakers, obsessive as the axes they grind. Knives they drive into showering chest cavity, puncturing telltale hearts, sinister thoughts of insidious plots, torrents of torment, shining like Danny Torrance, tortured by red rum taunting, rerouting the path just due south of Hill House, past the Hellmouth, not far offshore Amityville's horrors, the jaws of which clamp down until dark water spurts from grudges drill deep. As these turns of screw rings fastened to wall mirroring oculus thoughts, poltergeist caught between TV static and afterlife, pondering if I have the might to exorcise demons, bury the bones of these unwelcome tenants, or will I simply resign to my plot that this is my hereditary lot in life? An event horizon, finding every penny wiser, with pumpkin head hung low, suffering vertigo, eyes welling but fatigued from averting reality, resigning to be the skeleton key this hedge maze needs to find a way out from the labyrinth toward the lighthouse's tower, where every stride intends to find itself in open air, no longer stifled beneath the stale suffocation of a basement far more cemetery than foundation, this plot which would sooner bury than reconcile the truth. And every step taken toward light you find facing, it's not quite as daunting as you thought when you descended into that room. And so, with all the strength you can muster, you turn the knob, hold your breath, and emerge into the world again, resurfacing from condemned structures you thought needed demolishing, looking back at its wreckage, having learned that therapy is perhaps better used as exorcist than wrecking ball that you can salvage without sacrificing all you escaped, and blossom among the mulch of these charred wooden bones, because you are quite sure the day will come. You need reminding of the fact you are final girl, final boy, final person who made it out that basement, not unscathed, but stronger, gilded in the light of 1,000 suns, a survivor in every sense but one, forever unable to separate your wreckage from your reckoning. So you don't toss the key away. You keep it somewhere safe, because you never know if this haunted home may just be the open house needed to shelter or illuminate parallel paths to escape, that lighthouse to guide the way for some other hopeful survivor someday.
Let's get everyone.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
God,
Go
go
get
get
I
it!
needed that.
Go!
I needed that.
Señorito, that was tremendous.
Headliner!
was
Tremendous.
amazing.
Yo, that was fire.
Paul con queso, bringing it as always every week. I appreciate you, Paul, man. Appreciate your vulnerability. Thank you so much. And in 2 weeks, I'm looking forward to the beard love. I'm looking forward to the beard love. Y'all can find Paul on the social medias at Paul con queso, all one word. Paul, make sure that you also check out the chat. People are saying a lot of nice things about you. As always, Paul here is the mainstay at the Monday Night Online Open Mic. One more time, I do want to give it up for our tech tonight, Chris Lopez. Chris wasn't supposed to do the tech tonight. He had this really awesome social distant date with this incredibly gorgeous girl, and I was so jealous of him going out with her that I decided to mess up my laptop to ruin his date so he could do the tech for us tonight. Nonetheless, thank you so much, Chris, once again for doing tech tonight. All right, the next three coming up is Matthew Marroquin, then we have Unmesh Mohitkar, and then Nick Paleologos. That's right. The next three poets have been challenged in my linguistics, if I can say their name correctly. So Matthew Marroquin is next. Can we unmute Matthew? I saw him coming in and out.
Hello. Yeah, sorry. I'm at my parents' house right now, so their Wi-Fi sucks. We'll try to get this through though.
All right, we got to hear you. Let the people know where they can find you, and then bless us with your poem, brother.
All right, y'all can find me on Instagram, Vida, V-I-D-A _ Marroquin. It's right there. Or you can look up my name and find me on Facebook. All right, I actually wrote to the theme. I wrote it in like a couple of minutes before I hopped on here. I got my eye on you. I got two poems though. Okay, the first one, I got my eye on you. I got my eye on you. El malo ojo. Its iris bleeds into your heart valves, and its pupil munches on your dreams, changing, streaming, making you believe. El malo ojo, un sueño que hace adentro con sickness, nightmares, and evil. Evil bestowing upon children on this earth with the black blood of those who look upon them with jealousy. Generational curses follow your children if you don't protect them when they're young. My Salvi blood was protected by a red band, snaking its way across my baby wrist, storing all its evil within the gray plastic rock figure, just big enough to fit an eye, un ojo. El malo ojo is born through the worst of humans and affects the best of them. I got my eye on you is one of the worst curses you could put on my people. Keep your eyes away. So that's my fun little take on it. Malo ojo is a bad name. Like, I got my eye on you is like a bad saying in Latin America. So I'm just like, let me work with that. And here's this other one I wrote. It's about trees. I don't know why. I had to write this for a prompt or something. I got trees. But this one fits more to Valentine's theme or whatever. We knew each other since we were just saplings. My roots grew faster than theirs, cracking from the seeds with a big yawn and stretch throughout the soil. I'm not sure when, but our roots touched and hugged and passed and broke away. Both tried to stay grounded, thirsty for something more. Time went on. Our rings inflated. We ate next to each other with our different bladed grains dropping sugar cube from our hair. Rings kept coming, but not the rings I wanted. Oh, not the rings shared in bond with mine. And so time goes. It went on and on. My love wilted up, but was drained every year in Canadian lands, used to sweeten their pancakes, their lives, and thus taken from mine. Still, we grew. My bark split. Time ticked, ticked, ticked until we grew near once more, until finally we kissed. Our skin falling away and melting into each other, bonding and molding, rings of two becoming one. I said I do. We grow higher and higher with extra love to spare. Oh, how it makes my hair perk up towards the summer rays. I love them when bare during stormy winter days. We grow and grow, sure we crack and part, but we always intertwine back, still sharing that ring in between our trunks, made so far down, low, 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 and shows our love, and oh my, how it has grown. That's my tree poem. Thank you.
Matthew Marokin.
Yes,
Yeah.
Nice, Matthew. Way to come through,
right
man.
on.
Nice.
Right on.
Both. Those are both great. Very nice.
That is Matthew Marroquin. Matthew, make sure that you put your information into the chat so that the people can follow you. Next coming up is oh, and by the way, I'm sorry, I was looking over things. My mind is drawn. I love the way you took a hold of I got my eye on you and flipped it with poetic license. That is the whole point. You guys don't have to do exactly what I said. I love the way you flipped it. I love how you took it like, do you know that that's bad? We gotta let people know it's bad. Why are we writing about something bad? I love it. Matthew Marroquin, that dude is awesome. And that's one of my favorite poems of his right now. I'm seeing this dude grow. Okay, Unmesh Mohitkar, Nick Paleologos, and then someone with a very easy name, Sam Park. Right now we're going with Unmesh Mohitkar. Can we get him unmuted? Unmesh is in India, so he's having breakfast with us right now.
Hey, hi everyone.
There we go. Unmesh, let the people know where they can find you online and then give us your poem, brother.
Sure. It's Unmesh Mohitkar on Instagram, on Facebook, Mohitkar Unmesh on Twitter, and there is quite a few things. I am on Trishia's podcast, last week's podcast, and I sound intelligent over there. So for a change. Okay. So today is all short poems. Okay. Let me start. His impeccable reputation was in tatters. His impeccable reputation was in tatters. He tried to do the right thing. That was the first one. Second one was violence to non-violence was a seamless transformation for him. Violence to non-violence, seamless transformation for him. Devil in him needed some rest. The third one is life was artificial plan contrived. Life was artificial plan contrived. He revolted, surrendered to natural chaos, wilderness, ignorance. That is for poet like us. Then third is about truth. Every day I think to tell the truth. Every day I think to tell the truth. Then I think, whose truth should I tell? Every day I think to tell the truth. Should I tell the lie of the truth or should I tell the truth of the lie? Then next one is they joined chorus, isolated him. They joined chorus, isolated him. He kept singing alone. People joined his band. And this is the last one. The more obstacles he saw, the more victories he dreamt, lived, cherished, and won. That is from me for today. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot.
Let's get everyone unmuted to give Unmesh some love out in India. Oh, did we lose Chris Lopez? Oh.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Oh, wait, we didn't unmute everyone.
Oh, yes.
Thank you, man. Nice, man.
Yeah, you're a smart guy. You're a smart guy.
I couldn't let it go without Unmesh getting some love. Unmesh Mohitkar, he is out in India, love it. And I love his style. Like, he's able to constantly like repeat words or an image, and it's like it looks at it from a different angle and then from a different angle, but it keeps repeating the words, but there's that rhythm. I love it. So Nick Paleologos, Sam Park, and then I forgot who's next, but I'm gonna let you know. But right now it's Nick Paleologos. Where is Nick? Nick is on here every week, and I'm so appreciative. I work so hard to learn his last name. There we go. And I love your background, Nick. All right, let them know where they can find you online and hit us with your poetry.
You can find me online on IG at The Real Nick P. That's TheRealNickP. Seems like love is the theme. What's love without a little bit of temptation? These are two poems, by the way. No titles on both of them. I got my eye on you. in more than one way. I'm talking about you, temptation. You make anyone weak at the knees. Temptation comes disguised in all forms: food, video games, drugs, sex, doesn't matter. Temptation will find you whether you're boarded it off your walls or have no walls to take down. Temptation will distract you from your goals, donning the red dress, long hair, all the right curves, and ever morphing. I've seen temptation make children out of adults and adults out of children. Temptation will take away your goals, your dreams, your money, and temptation will make you dance with it all night. I was a victim, and so shall you if you let it consume you. First one, that's the second one. No title again. I got my eye on you, pretty woman, across the bar. I crave some conversation. My fuel light has been empty for years, and you look so pretty, and I'm in need of a refuel and kindling. The whiskey I had is just getting to me, and I'm loosened up. Dealt with too many liars and thieves, and I'm ready to go get it. I'm not looking to undress right away, more like a checkup and check back. Second impressions mean more than the first. Romance is a marathon, not a 100-meter dash, and I don't need a third eye for that. You turn me down, I got an advocate and a dapper gentleman around. When the next one comes, if she makes contact first, I'll have my eye on her. Done. Thank you.
Let's unmute everyone and give it up for Nick Pelligo.
Yay.
Little cameo
Bringing it
appearance in that
Formed by
one.
Jen.
That
Thank
was
you.
fire.
DG showed up in that one.
Nick Paleo Logos. Yes, my wingman DG showed up in it. So did I. I'll be Nick's wingman. Let's get it in, man. Nick Paleo Logos. Make sure you put your info into the chat, brother. So we've got Sam Park coming up, then Propaganda Poet, then Marissa Prada. But let's unmute Sam Park now. Where is, there she is. Oh, the room is done up and everything. Sam, am I going to see you on Saturday?
Why? Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I was like,
I saw, because the way your room is set up, right? Like,
oh, hell yeah. No, I'm going to be there. But at first, like, I forgot what you're talking about. I was like, why? But I mean, sure, you can see me anytime you want. Like,
all right. So Sam, let the people know where they can find you, then get into your poetry.
word. So y'all can find me on Instagram at Zaddy_beats. That's ZADDY_beats. And on Spotify, and there are those links. Today, I am going to be reading a poem that follows the prompt. And it's called Love Language. I'm home alone, self-led, dimmed the lights down to a deep red, faced the mirror across my bed. I watch myself thickly spread, eye contact with myself, licking my lips, tasting my melt, winding my waist. I'm a bombshell, dipping my fingers deep into my well, grinding my hips to the beat, swell. I know my body the most well. The study of pleasure, I excel, soft caressing, conjuring myself, self-confessing, I pray tell, my love professing is raising hell in my own body, and she never tells of the charm I find under my own spell, massaging my flesh and my pleasure bone. God, it feels so good to be alone. No need for a pillow to catch my moans. Audience of one, my mirrored clone. Tousled hair and oiled thighs, booty bouncing low to high, vibrating dick, a man on standby. I'm a bad bitch for a small fry. I got my wing-lined eye watching myself, and I let out the softest sigh, leaving my tongue too tied. My body is tense until it complies muscles contract and relax, but I still fly in self-made bliss and body highs, grateful my well will never run dry. Adoring my body, I am fine. My language of love is to read my own signs. That's why for this year's Valentine's, I'm touching myself, spending quality time. I'm my own lover, if you suppose, making love to a queen only a king would know. But tonight I'm royalty on my own, just how I like it, a private show. Thank you.
Unmute everyone and give
Ooh.
some.
Sam.
Yo, my
Yes,
Go ahead,
yes,
Sam.
yes.
Go ahead, Sam.
Congratulations.
Yo.
Tuesday.
Fire. Real.
Oh yeah.
Fire.
That was like some voyeurism right there, man. I was listening at the check like, my neighbors, nobody here. Sam Park. Sam is off the hook, man. I love Sam when she comes on here and lights it up. So Sam, make sure she did put her info into the chat. Make sure you go give her a follow. She's also a little DJ on Spotify to get you in the mood, that red room type thing. So what I mentioned about Saturday is this Saturday at 10 p.m. Eastern, I am hosting an erotic online open mic. So if you would like to sign up, you can go onto my Instagram or my Facebook and Twitter. You're going to see the flyer there with the instructions at Advocate of Words. When you spell words, it's with a Z at the end. So make sure that you sign up. It's going to be ridiculous. We get a lot of people here from the Monday night online open mic who show up. We also get a lot of people showing up from Tantalizer Productions who puts on the show. And it is, to be honest with you, I don't know why more guys don't show up. Like Monica has created a safe space and it's mostly women and they go out there with their poetry and it's like fantastic. It's like sexy, creative. Y'all need to like, seriously, I mean, listen, I took ballet and modern dance in high school instead of gym because I knew I was going to be the only guy in the class. All right. So if I'm going to be the only guy at this event, I'm all good with it, man, because like the ladies, sexy and creative. It's like everything you want from an erotic poetry night, everything you want. So make sure you go check that out. All right. Let's move forward. And we have Propaganda Poet and then Marissa Prada. But first, he may be on Zoom as Bear something, I think. And I want to thank everyone who's with me in these technical issues tonight. Usually everything is smooth, but because my laptop is messed up, having trouble with it. But yeah, I think he goes under Bear Wolf. He may be under Bear Wolf or Propaganda Poet. That's who it is. If he's here, Chris. Do we see him?
Hello, hello. Oh my God, no pressure now. Now I got to go after out, no pressure. But that's cool. You can find me. My YouTube link is in the chat. But you can find me here for the next 2 weeks because Advocate, you keep having all these dope themes. So I'll be here for the next 2 weeks, but then I'm going to take a break for a while and enjoy other people's energy and time because the lake of fire might be in hell, but the sea of fire is right here, people. And this is amazing. So without further ado, I got my eye on you. With my eyes closed, I want to read you like Braille. Send my fingers sailing across your skin until your goosebumps reveal your history. Now, this history, it will not be written by the conquerors. And this history, it will not be lost in the translation. No, this history will be written backwards from the moment we touch all the lifetimes of your soul has spent searching for its purpose, which, at least for now, is to join with mine. To entwine like the vine, spreading and twisting and stretching and reaching and speaking of the sun, I want to glide my tongue across your horizons and tiptoe the tightrope of your G until you feel like the key on Ben Franklin's kite string. This ain't gonna be no static electricity. I'm talking 9 million megawatts of pure Mother Nature tempest as she lights up the sky, reminding her children of life's real lessons. I'm talking 9 million megawatts of raw animal instinct compressed into one little tiny key so that we might unlock our bodies and minds back to a time when Pan danced the earth with wood nymphs and Dionysus made wine and song. And Caligula really knew how to get down and throw a party. And when we lock our thighs, we will send our eyes to a place where the oceans paint the skies like some crazy MC Etcher sketch where rainbows flow over waterfalls, washing away all traces of ill-spoken lies woven through half-assed tries from weak-minded boys with their drunken fists, just poison misogynists trying to spread their emotional genocide. And when we lock our thighs, we will send our cries echoing through the pages of your book, which hasn't even been written yet, because the story of your life will not even allow you the time to breathe. But we're going to breathe tonight. That's right. Hard and deep. We will be breathing so hard and deep that it will feel as if our lungs are going to explode, but don't overload. Ain't no cause to call no EMT, because you see, it's all just metaphor to me. That is, except for the part where I want to read you like Braille, caress my fingertips into your flesh and smoke away your stress and let that chronic afterglow become our guide as we slip and slide towards that happy ending. Now, I gotta be straight up, girl. My happy ending ain't got shit to do with no white picket fences or 2.5 kids and a dog or picking out curtains or shopping for furniture or cell phones or chat rooms, because I got more important things to read than you've got mail, and you've got more important things to do than to lie there sleepless in Seattle waiting, wondering whether or not he's even going to call. And before too long, you're just thinking, fuck all, I am tired of just giving it up to the masses who just waste all their time chasing all these chicks that are just shaking their asses like some crazy parade of psycho circus clowns that don't even recognize that they're crying behind their painted faces. No, my happy ending involves 2 mature, consenting adults. Or maybe more, but we'll talk about that later. We realize that the light at the end of the tunnel is just a reflection of the sparks that we're making right in this here cave, and we will not go quietly into that good night. No, our cries and moans and screams and passions will go on for days and days and days and days as they echo through that hangover haze that seems to cling to your very being even longer than the night of the morning after, and that is why you are sleepless wherever you may be. And just because my happy ending doesn't include a 2-car garage and some ridiculous fucking SUV that doesn't even fit into that, and just because my original opening line might have failed, that does not change the simple fact that I want to read you like Braille. Thank you for listening. Thank you for letting me be a part of this. See you for a couple more weeks. You guys are amazing. This is the
Hell yeah,
Bring that
propaganda so
energy,
through,
man.
man.
Nice
That was a
Hell yeah.
great. That was a
Fire.
great
Hell
one.
yeah. Read you like Braille. That was dope.
Joy. Yeah.
Dope.
Propaganda poet. Yeah, I like that opening. Read you like Braille. Ha ha, I get it. Wink, wink. Poetic license. Got my eye on you. Read you like Braille. Love it. That was propaganda poet who has become a mainstay of my main online mic. For those of you interested in signing up, our list is closed tonight, but we have 2 open mics. One on Monday tonight, starts at 8 p.m. Eastern, and the other is on Thursday night at 9 p.m. Eastern. That is hosted by La Bruja. To sign up for either one, the open mic list opens 24 hours before the show. You would go to nuyorican.org, click full events calendar, then you would choose the open mic, the date that you want to sign up for. When you sign up, get an artist RSVP. That is the only way to sign up. In a minute, it sells out. Within 60 seconds, more than 35 people have tried to sign up. It gets crazy. So just want to let you know that. Thursday, you want to sign up, you do so on the website, nuyorican.org, and you get the artist RSVP. Okay, next up, I've got Marissa Prada, Elizabeth Strauss, and then Mr. Tessasomo. Right now, let's unmute Marissa Prada. She got her cut out hard.
What is up, New Yo? Happy Monday. So glad to be here. Thank you, everybody. You can find me on Facebook, Marissa Prada, also on Instagram, Prada Painting and Poetry. You can also find me at The Word is Right, WRITE on Facebook. We have an incredible Black History Month coming up on Friday. Big event. People like Elemental, Ray Jane, Mr. Speaker are going to be in this event, so you don't want to miss it come Friday night. All right. So this is my poem. I did do the prompt. This is a blended poem. So here we go. It's titled My Eyes. My eyes are blue like the wrapping on a box of Oreo cookies. It would be easy to say how much I love having blue eyes, and I really do. But oftentimes these eyes lie to me. I'm sure it's not on purpose. They are just eyes, probably puppeted by the same strings that pull my inanimate heart. but their dark art of believing inclement men has surpassed even that of a hobby, become more of reckless endangerment for the rest of me. Their sentiment is one that prefers wool, even though it makes the rest of me itch. They prefer blackout curtains for the walk of shame I am cursed to relive. Of course, they turn a rose-colored hue of blue when attempting to size the size of his, well, never mind, it's not that important. I find it funny, though, that I was the only one to see what was not there, what I believed to be love. I was the only one to bear witness to your container walls whitewashed over graffitied red flags yelling, "Get out!" If only I could hear instead. I got my eye on you, and now I'm blind. I got my eye on you, and now I'm blind. My forehead turned a blind third eye as I scooped out my own eyes from their sunk-in sockets, one at a time. Plastic half-broken spoon from that takeout place that night. They felt warm and slimy in my hands as I handed them over, a bargaining chip for another tomorrow. Then tomorrow never came. Still, their true power is in my daughter, for her eyes are the same as mine, 10 times wiser, though I will make sure of that. She will not twist and contort portions of herself, offer up slices for sacrifice and prayers to just see a love that was never meant to be. Then find herself in the fucked up perfection of hindsight. She will know the superpower her eyes wield yield to nothing less than the worth of what lies beneath her skirt.
Ooh, let's get everyone unmuted so we can give some
That
energy.
was incredible.
Damn.
Marissa,
Damn. I'm gonna start charging you for stealing my breath, man. I'm gonna start charging
Come
you.
on. I said you better come on.
Marissa. They said, I'm going to start charging you for stealing my breath. Marissa Prada, what are you doing? Make sure that you give Marissa Prada a follow. Marissa, make sure if you haven't put all of that information into the Zoom chat. Marissa is a mainstay here, the Monday Night Online Open Mic, and she also invites a bunch of awesome poets to come along. And I forgive her for inviting a man who had a bigger beard than I. What are you doing, Marissa? You hurting my ego here. Okay. So Marissa Prada, make sure you give her a follow. Elizabeth Strauss is next, Mr. Tessa Somo, and then Elemental. And I believe it was Elemental who said that he's going to start charging her for having his breath stolen. Can we get Elizabeth Strauss unmuted? Elizabeth Strauss.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, my beanie sister. All right, go ahead, Elizabeth. Let the people know where they can find you and then get into your poetry.
You can find me on Instagram, ES_Strauss and Broadway Broker _NY. I'll drop it in the chat when I'm finished with my 2 poems. The first one's for the theme and the second one's just some new shit I wrote. The first one is called The Hopeless Romantic of the Zodiac. Hopeless romantics, a rare breed we are. Crab walking the bumpy shores as our hearts race looking for our one and only. Some looking for their soulmates harder than others, especially those whose Venus is in Leo. We cannot help ourselves, the planets and the games they play with our brains and hearts, sometimes leading us to love, lust, and the dark breakups we eventually learn from, when the tears cannot be forced out anymore. They say it is rare when cancers do not have a crush or do not cry. It is indeed. We have claws we pinch and grab on tight, our own faults, the hopeless romantics we are. Sometimes looking for the wrong signs or hooking up with a fire sign just because we know it will be hot. They say love will come when we least expect it. Try telling that to a water sign. Something many cancers do not realize, but one surely does. You cannot love another sign until you love yourself. Practice self-love always. So when you pinch your one and only, they don't say ouch, they say hello. And my second piece is very short. It's called One Night Stand. Eagerly waiting to be played, she has not been plucked for some time, longing for the soft touch of another, aching to be caressed. When she is finally grabbed from behind, her hands running up and down the body while tickling her strings, while the others choke the neck, biting her core from behind, leaving teeth marks, no shame, branded on wax, the bow pounding back and forth, note after note, until dawn breaks and she finally does, unable to keep tempo. Thank you.
Unmute yourselves. Give it up for Elizabeth.
Relatable.
Damn.
Like
Deadpan Lizzie in the building.
Elizabeth Strauss. I know I say this every time Elizabeth rocks out, but like she's got like this deadpan approach, but her words are so alive. Elizabeth Strauss, if you haven't already, put your info in the chat so that people can give you a follow. We got Mr. Tessasomo next. Let us unmute Mr. Tessasomo. Where is he? He should be here. I saw him earlier. He's got that real.
Yo.
There
Ready?
we go. Sir, let the people know where they can find you online and bless us with your poetry.
Folks can find me on Instagram under Gaseous 2019 for my last book. I'm going to work on this piece, The Paradox of Unity. It was the morning of April 29th, 1992. I had just settled into my second cup of coffee. I had greeted all the physical therapists on the floor. We had wired up our first treadmill patient for the day. My job was the collection of EMG, electromyography from leg muscles, collectively measuring the surface available insight into nerve electrical behavior. That resting potential of minus 70 millivolts with balanced negative sodium ions and positive potassium ions. When the stimulus is applied, the nerve cell opens up the sodium channels, floods with an increased density and charge, creating a 3 millisecond impulse spike, peaking at 50 millivolts, and discharging this potential via its myelin sheath axon, activating the muscle fibers. Several milliseconds later, the potassium ion channel dilates and brings the cell back into its resting potential. The clinical atmosphere was broken with the squawk of the overhead lab speaker. Security informed that mass uprisings had broken throughout LA. There were fires, gunfire, and violence. We were all ordered to go home and shelter. The whole west side of LA poured into the transportation arteries of the city. We found ourselves in a blood-clotted city, a cholesteric phase city. It took me 7 hours to drive 18 miles, not including the anxiety and panic of the situation. Looking back and say that I experienced unity with the jury that acquitted the police officers from any charges from the beating of Rodney King a year before in March. If you're struggling with the reasoning of the all majority white jury, you're not alone. If the interest of reason is to suspend the antithesis of the differences, clearly it failed the Hegelian fission of differences. We see the first paradoxical failure of unity, that reason does not seek unity at the expense of the differences of distinction, while the Hegelian paradox is tautological, meaning self-referential. We are asked to embrace reason as conceived by reason as a process of thought that includes the differences determined by understanding. It was clear that the jury hadn't read Hegel. How could they unreason Lawrence Powell's in-car computer message, Gorillas in the Mist? Terry White, King's lawyer, sarcastically questioned Powell about his Gorillas in the Mist message, White. Now this call that involved these African Americans, was it a jungle? Powell, in a what? White, a jungle. Powell, no. White, was it at the zoo? Powell, no. White, were there any gorillas around? Powell, I didn't see any. Later in cross-examination, Powell offered just the following order's defense. After the January 6, 2020 incitement to an insidious failed insurrection, we see that the tortuous political programs like personal responsibility and their so-called contract with America being thrown out the window like deadbeat dads out the door. Which means do as they say, and if you don't, here are the violent followers who will extract violence. If they if they show up, it's your fault for sowing division. This seems very tautological, a la Hegel. Unity and difference, using language against itself is meant to intimidate. This is the logic of fascism. There is no cooperating with mayhem, no trying to get along, no concessions, no meeting you halfway, no negotiating with rabid dogs. We see the social political surface potentials polarized when those channels become highly differentiated, highly polarized, and exceeding the potential threshold causing social impulse responses. Only when you balance them do we get a social resting potential. I remember the old South Central woman screaming when she was being interviewed about the uprisings. These people talk about unity. What they really be saying is, you ain't in it. There is no uniting with fascists.
Unmute yourself. Oh, well, let's unmute everyone. And give it up.
Wow, Texas Como.
No charge. No charge for that one.
Can't have unity without accountability.
Mr. Tesla Somo, make sure you give him a follow. If you haven't put the information into the chat, Tesla Somo, make sure that you do. And you know, as poets, we call them bards. The bard is someone who's supposed to write something that you know, not only teaches, keeps history. And every time I hear Mr. Tesla Somo, that's how I feel, man. I feel like if we was a village, he'd be the one keeping history. I love it. Tesla Somo. Next up, I have Elemental, and then Diane Ward. And then we have Kai Brackens. We haven't heard from Kai in a while. I hope Kai is here. Kai Brackens on deck. Right now, we're going to go to Elemental. Let's get Elemental unmuted.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Monday. Advocates in the building. What's up?
You're always one of the loudest people giving love to people, man. So I love having you on, man. I love your talents. I love the love you give. Let the people know where they can follow you online and then get into it.
For sure. I appreciate you, Advocate. I appreciate all of you for the energy that you give. And that's why I just continue to give it back, man, for real. You can always find me, Elemental the Poet, at IG, on YouTube, or at Elemental on Twitter. Like Marissa said, we're going to be featuring this weekend, Black History Month. Come check it out. A bunch of dope poets. Trisha's podcast, yo, check it out. A bunch of dope poets. All of you are stinking fire. I can only hope to keep up. Let's go. Never mind the abomination in the sky. It is only a means to an end. The best way to avert danger, murder, and disarray is to be everywhere. You understand, don't you? I mean, it is for your own good. Think about it. If I'm always there, you'll never be alone. You'll never have to call for help because I'll already be there. Sure, you can call me God if you'd like. I so love the taste of your obedience. I can see by my eye in the fridge that you're out of milk. You know, the double half splash you like to put in your morning gasoline. And by the way, you also need cat food, and you should consider changing your passwords. I would hate for someone to hack into our mainframe and learn our schedule. We have important work to do. They shouldn't know you haven't slept or taken your medication correctly in months, or why your spouse decided to make the future a solo act and take their talents to South Beach. So I took the liberty of ordering the latest edition of Girls Gone Wild, Papua New Guinea. Do not forget, you only have a few $100s in your account, so I took the liberty of putting a down payment on your burial plot. You have been eating McDonaldization with Wendy's and Popeyes, going through Subways and Chick-fil-A's with the Applebee's. You know, the deadly kind that live near Olive Gardens and IHOPs, going in and out of drive-thrus, ringing Taco Bells at Waffle Houses all throughout the South. Don't forget, back in 2002, you remember that? When you thought no one was looking? I was there. Remember when you thought you got away clean? I forgot to tell you. The ticket came in our email, so I took the liberty of diverting the funds from your grocery account to cover the damages. You don't really need food, do you? I mean, I've seen you run on nothing more than ramen and Tic Tacs. Watch you consume nothing of your own world, searching for escape routes with your remote as your compass. I see how much you enjoy watching reality instead of living it, so I took the liberty of having your vehicle repossessed. Since you are under quarantine, I didn't think you would need transportation, except on Tuesdays and every third Thursday when you go to pretend you're exercising while accidentally bumping into the same woman everywhere she goes, so I took the liberty of putting out a warrant for your arrest. The aggressive porn you consume, along with the violent alcoholic tendencies you exhibit every day, all add up to destruction. Why waste time? I'm sure I could compile a list of humane deaths I could assist you with very easily, so I took the liberty of contacting the local mortician to prepare your final insignificance, accommodations. I see your temperature rising, your heart is racing, and your cheeks are flushed. You're such a human. So I took the liberty of calling the authorities to tell them you're psychotic. Trust me, it will be over quick. They should be arriving at your location at any time now. Can you hear your doom? Can you hear the siren of your silence? Of course, you can call me God if you like. In these last moments, remember this. I would be nothing without you.
Let's get everyone unmuted and give it up.
Oh, hell yeah.
Amazing.
That's gone wild.
Wow.
That was amazing.
Call the fire engines for that.
New Guinea edition.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Telling the
brilliant,
truth.
man.
Elemental. I was wondering who is going to do the big
Oh,
brother angle. And if you see behind Elemental, his picture, he's got the eye in the sky. I loved it. I didn't catch on at first when he had it, but then when he went into it, I was like, oh, I see what you're doing. You're trying to be like Paul Conqueso and get banned from IG, being Instagram jail for a while, Facebook jail for a while. I see you. That's Elemental. Make sure you give him a follow. Diane Ward is next. Then we have, I had it. Alana Castan is there. But let's get Diane Ward unmuted.
Hi, good evening. How are you? It's so good to be here with you. Can you hear me? Yes. Okay. Well,
yeah, we can hear you.
You can hear me. Okay. I'm going to combine I Got My Eye on You and Black History Month together. It's so hard to get on these days. We have so many wonderful poets that I'm just so glad that I'm able to come on. So I'm doing a mixed thing. And I thank Ron Mark for that, because he is right on that computer and he's faster than I am. So I'm grateful for him that I'm even on. So I'm just going to go right into it so we can get some of the other poets on. Okay. This is called Paid to be Plaid. How happy you must feel that momentary superiority when you think you have arrived, but all you really do is spy. Holier is your pew today to believe you vanquished dragons at play. Well, you and I see what has been roasted. It's your hide that has been broasted. For every time you fillet a brother, sister, cousin, and one another, your paycheck in the Lord's account amounts to nothing more than sloth. Because you lazily were bribed and are content to smile and chide, you lowlife, loved by the massa, look around at this disaster. When it's convenient, you'll mimic an accent, use some catchwords, and admit you eat that. But when it comes to showing off, used as advisors and mimicking your host's retorts, I've no wonder that you're nervous. You're out of your element, you perverts. Accepted, you will never be. Both sides know you'll go for any fee. So as you pray years later, frail and vulnerable, No flunkies around acting humble and mumbling. Recount your many deceitful pleasures. Just remember, by phoniness is how you'll be measured. Thank you.
Oh
Everyone,
my
Diane
Thank
Ward.
you,
Oh my
Diane.
Wow,
God.
Diane, yes,
Diane,
Diane.
wow.
Love it.
Diane.
That's how you
Yes.
bring it.
Bring it like that. Thank you.
Love that. Glad to have you
Yeah.
back.
Diane Ward, I love this woman. I say it every week, but it's like she's got the. Oh wait, my screen froze. There we go. um I know I say this every week, but she's like got this beautiful blend of like wisdom and youth to her. I love her energy. If she wasn't married, I would be like elemental, and every Tuesday and every third Thursday, I would just show up and be wherever she is, like coincidence. Like, hey, we're here again together. Diane Ward, she's a Monday mainstay. Thank you, Ron Mark Thompson, for introducing her to this and for getting her to be able to log on tonight so we can hear her. So I have Kai Brackens next, then Alana Caslin, and then Thomas Kahn. And that's the end of the guaranteed list. Then we can get to the waiting list. So Kai Brackens, can we get Kai Brackens unmuted? We haven't heard from Kai in a while. I believe Kai's here. I believe that I saw her.
Yo.
Kai Brackens is back, ladies and gentlemen. All right, Kai, let people know where they can find you, and then bless us with your poetry.
All right. You can find me at Kai_loud fat mix poet on IG. Also, as Kylene2000 on IG. So yeah. This is a poem I wrote today because I was like, I need to be on theme. If I'm coming back, I got to. It's called Endlessly. I got my eyes on you. You're everything that I see. I want your hot love and emotion endlessly. I can't get over you. You left your mark on me. I want your hot love and emotion endlessly. Baby, we have our bad days. Days where we both break down on this road, riding on little but fumes. Where we forgot to refill somewhere along the highway, and now with gas stations miles away, we're holding on to this wheel, willing us to stay on the asphalt. But I promise you, I wouldn't change it. I remember that this is just growing pains because I planned forever when I set up camp here, and I wasn't expecting the seasons not to change. You see, weathering all these weather patterns that our love brings can have me freeze over right before I finish thawing. But I promise you I will thaw again, because I choose to seek out the sun with numb fingers, because when we laugh, I know we can still find summers even in the most bitter of winters. Baby, sometimes you look at me like you don't know why I stay. And what you still don't understand is before I found a reason to remind me how to breathe, I was looking deep into the blank spaces in my personality, writing partial suicide notes. And then you took each scrap of them and turned them into a wastebasket bedding, making me find a new reason to ungunk my own mechanics, scraping his abuse off my gears, find a personality instead of an excuse to escape. Darling, I love when we talk in the car on our long drives about how in another lives our souls walked to each other across cosmos. I wonder if the reason I used to wake up crying from nightmares I couldn't remember was because they weren't dreams. They were memorials I was still crying over because we had to die 100 times just to end up in a life where we might end up together. And we didn't know if we could ever make it, but we hope that if planets cross, lovers get crossed sometimes, and sometimes these scars of ours don't line up. I know we go back into this retrograde, and you hold your tear wide open. When the torrents of sentences stop flowing, the tears take their turn, and I cry because I love you. And I pray you always know that. Because I love you and I still dream of one day wearing white clothing, finally able to destroy the black veils I wore during our eclipses. Because though I know you sometimes wonder why it's even worth it, and I know sometimes I do too. I know if you were gone, I'd be officially missing you. Ooh, 'cause ain't nobody do it like you. Do every little thing you do. Oh, baby, you'd stay on my mind. 'Cause I would be officially missing you. The point is, since we met, through the good and all the bad, all the growing pains, even when you make me mad, I've always got my eyes on you. You're still everything that I see. And I know you might be nervous to believe it, but even on our bad days, I need you to know I want your high love and emotion endlessly.
Let's get everyone unmuted and give it up for Kai Bracken.
Yay,
That was
Kai.
awesome.
Yes.
Sweet.
Absolutely lovely.
That
Way
was
to bring
awesome.
it. Way
Thank
to
you.
bring it.
Welcome back. Welcome
Wow.
back.
Yes, with the
Yeah.
ball.
Welcome back to Kai Brackets, killing it. And I like how Kai was like, I had to come back. I need to make sure I was on point and I was on theme. It killed it as always, Kai. Make sure you put your information into the Zoom chat so the people, the new people, because you haven't been here for a while. We got some new people. They can give you a follow. Kai Brackets. I miss you. I hope all is well. Don't stay away long. Next up, we got Alana Castlin. Can we get Alana Castlin unmuted? I think this is like Alana's second or third time with us. Is Alana here?
I don't see her in the list.
Oh, you don't see her in the Zoom?
Yeah.
Okay. Then that means Thomas Connor is next. And that's where Thomas. I believe he's still here. Shout out again to Chris Lopez doing tech tonight, giving up a very attractive date to be with us. You're the man, Chris. Is Thomas Connor here?
Yep.
There we go.
I'm
Thomas,
here.
there we go. Thomas, let the people know where they can find you and then get into your poem, sir.
Thomas Connor on Facebook and on Instagram, TAC7371. So I didn't keep to the theme, but kind of, maybe, sort of. So let me just go. I kept to the theme actually because it's Valentine's Day this month. So I kind of wrote this to that. Lovers rock, lovers rock, lovers rocking back and forth, swaying to the melodies of our hearts, holding close, pressed against each other, sharing the pitter patter of passion, beating, pounding, meshing, smashing, tasting each other, biting gently, kissing, licking, inhaling each other with every breath. This passion symbiotic, we fuse, my muse, push and pull, yank and tug, sway and move, rocking to this lover's rock, you on top, me inside. Together we ride into the annals of lovers' lores, consuming, dining, feeding off each other's divine existence. We become one, balancing the universe like moons and suns. Eternal lovers, our lore will be legacy, like Antony and Cleopatra, Romeo and Juliet, Amun-Ra and Amunet. This is us, them, we will never fade, never stop. This is lovers' lore, lovers rock. This is how lovers rock, loving, kissing, loving until we never stop. Peace.
Let's get everyone unmuted. Give it up for Thomas Connor.
Mr. Connor,
That's how
you've
you come
been missed this
through.
evening.
That's how you come
Wow.
through with that, man. That love is
Way to
rock.
go.
That love is rock, yo.
Loved it. Felt a little like a throwback. I love it. That's how lovers rock. I think that was Elemental acting up again. This just loves the community. I love it. Love it. Okay. So now I have I forgot, Tara Lee. She is actually number 25. And then we're getting into the waiting list. And Norm Mathematics is first on the waiting list. But is Tara Lee here? If Tara is here, let us get her unmuted.
Hello? Can you hear me?
I hear you.
Yes.
There she is. Tara, let the people know where they can find you online and where they can find your published poetry. And then let's hear some of your poetry.
All right. So you can find me. I'm on Instagram, TQuest10, Facebook, and I have a website that I'm not going to say right now because it's just super long. But don't worry, I'm going to put this in the chat too for all of you. And I am a poet and editor from Chesapeake, Virginia, for those of you who don't know me. And I tried to write on topic tonight, so I will get into this first one for you all. I'm so sorry. I left you, fraternized with other people, sang to their songs, got drunk off their attention and the way their name rolled off my tongue. I'd come home and head straight to bed. Wouldn't even tell you about my day or mention your name in the streams. After a whole quarantine, I needed something more, something fresh, something new. But I wouldn't be here if it weren't for you. So please, if you will, hold my hand. I want to show you off to the world again. That's that first one, which ties in because this Valentine's, my special someone's are my two books, Ignite, which is only $10, and So Far Away, which is only $15. And if you guys, if we ever get to meet in person or we figure out shipping and handling, you could get both of these books for only $20 plus some shipping, but we're not going to talk about that part right now. So I'm going to read one of my poems from my first book, Ignite, to give my little children over here some more attention. This is called Building. I've spent years trying to move into my own home. I didn't bother with realtors or blind dates looking from man to man. I was confident in myself. Some people let me tour their minds, graze my fingers along their fleshy walls. Others climb up the attic and peer through the window. Others stopped me at the door. And when I found the home with all the unicorns and rainbows, I knew I had to put my bid in. I paid with attention, tender words and caring gifts, but the results were always the same. No new home, and I question why when these hands brought no harm and my fire was strong enough to heat the whole structure. It's just, nobody told me that humans weren't meant to be the four walls I sleep in every night. And they aren't supposed to hold my life in their hands because they don't truly understand the great responsibility that comes with caring for another. And someone always ends up with new bruises and gashes or homeless the next day. While praying for God's direction, I didn't realize that only these hands truly know how to care for and protect my soul. Well, now I'm building my own home. Cement foundation, oak walls, and the person allowed to wander through will just be a maintenance man who helps keep everything running. Thank you.
Love that ending. Love the whole poem.
That was beautiful.
That was
Nice,
great,
Sarah,
Debbie.
nice,
Thank
beautiful.
nice.
Yeah.
The maintenance man. Who is the maintenance man? I love it. Tara Lee. Make Tara Lee a follow and check out her two books, who she's going to be hanging out with on Valentine's. Okay, we are getting into the waiting list. And because it's not a normal show, I forgot to mention that if you would like to contribute to the Nuyorican Poets Cafe, you can go to nuyorican.org/contribute. This will help us continue our funding and doing our performances and events online. There are a lot of events online that the Nuyo has, not just our open mics. We have different workshops and we have different theater shows and all of that. So make sure that you're following the Nuyorican Poets Cafe, whether it be on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, all the social medias. Make sure, although the Nuyorican Poets Cafe doesn't have no fan page, maybe we can work on that. Okay, so I've got Norm Mathematics, and then after Norm, I have the Urban Cowboy Poet. Can we unmute Norm Mathematics?
Hey, good evening. This is a wonderful show. Hey, so you can find me on Instagram at Norm_Maddox, Facebook at Norm Maddox, and February 20. That's in like 2.5 weeks, a week and a half. There's a book release, and I put that link in the chat. But Black Calculus is being released by Nomadic Press, and I'm getting ready to read something that has never been read before. and not from that book. I think it's on theme here, and then I have a second piece. So here we go. This piece does not have a title. Better to see you from a distance, close enough to see the distance in your eyes. Hard to bear both at point blank range on my heart. An invisible barrier like bubbles deflecting light off your smile. Shadows hang over memories, losing touch with reality. Disintegrating each time I try to remember. I remember I'm supposed to be letting go. I still have fire for air, next to none to breathe. Feeding embers still warm, looking for a flame to catch. I want no distance between our hearts, beating for the same reason. Love me, why I love you. This piece I read this on New Yorican back in April when we just started this going, and it holds true right now. Will we ever hug again? How will it feel to bow warmly, not knowing if your partner is bowing at the same temperature when you can't even see them bowing so deeply? Will a puddle of tears demonstrate how long you stayed in your bow, crying, seeing a loved one for the last time, maybe? Coming home from away, will your child have to crawl to a spot on the floor to show how glad they are to see you? Will mental telepathy be the new caress, applying creative visualization, chanting a mantra to resonate the vibe that nourishes spirit? Will the body transmit, radiate, and absorb feelings without the biofeedback that reminds us we are one human being with every one human being? What you see is what you get could be the new greeting, hopeful that you are genuinely wearing your heart on your sleeve, painting a smile on your mask. Will ventriloquism become a new art form for whispering sweet nothings into your ear from 6 feet away? Will we become a society of voyeurs, watching others pleasure themselves while we do our best to reciprocate? Will a pivot in the psyche sustain the distance we are evolved to close? How long will it take before I can hold love in my arms again? Peace.
Let's unmute everyone and give it up for Norm Mathematics. Brother, thank you so much.
Yeah, this was
Nice,
incredible,
Norm.
man.
Sincere.
Nice.
Right.
Thank you. I love that second one.
Mathematics in
That
the
feels so
building.
good.
You bring that shit,
Nice,
man.
Norm.
Yo.
Norm Mathematics, February 20th is the book release. He put the link into the Zoom chat. Look up Norm Mathematics on Facebook. I know he's on there. Check him out, man. Give this dude a follow. Get the book. I love having this dude on. He's been on since, like I said, April, the beginning. April 5th is our 1-year anniversary special. I got some special things cooked up for that open mic April 5th. But let's not get far ahead of ourselves. The Urban Cowboy Poet, Poetic Desire, and then Catherine Sweeney. All of these people are from the waiting list. We're getting to it. So can we get Greg Michaels? I believe that's his name here on Zoom. Can we unmute? And he's wearing a cowboy.
Oh yeah.
There he is. All right, cool. Go ahead. Let the people know where they can find you, and then tell us a tale, sir.
Urban Cowboy Poetry on Facebook or YouTube. You're just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off of you. That's all I got for your theme. Now I'll do an urban legend. How's that? Suicide by murder. Manhattan cops see a lot of deaths, but some can still surprise. Take the case of Ronald Opus, who jumped from a high rise. If you had guessed he'd splattered in the street, you'd lose that bet. Around the 7th floor, some window washers hung a safety net. When the fire department reached him, they had hopes that he weren't dead. But although the net had stopped his fall, he'd been shot plumb full of lead. The young man had died anyway. What made it extra sad is that it happened outside the flat of Ronald's mom and dad. Now, Ronald's parents were famous for being mean and rich. Mom disinherited Ronald. Dad called her a bitch. The elder Opus led a pretty volatile kind of life. Every couple weeks or so, he threatened to kill his wife. He'd shoot her with a shotgun, which he'd always kept unloaded. On this particular tragic day, the weapon done exploded. The shot went through the window, just a couple stories down from where Opus Jr. had begun his planned trip to the ground. Now, Ronald had failed at jumping to death, and yet the boy was gone. Now it looked like he'd been murdered, but who could they pin it on? I never loaded that weapon, is the story his father tells. Had some mysterious enemy inserted the shotgun shells? The police wanted to charge the father with some kind of crime. His wife declared he's innocent. He does this all the time. The old man claimed it's just a game. The makeup sex is fun. Neither one of them had the slightest clue as to who had loaded the gun. An investigation ID'd the perp. Fingerprints were the proof. The gun had been loaded by Ronald, who just jumped off the roof. The DA found no precedent in the law books on his shelf. He couldn't charge a dead man for the murder of himself. There was, in fact, a suicide note, as the police had predicted. Ronald had gotten tired of being poor and drug addicted. His first plan, to load the gun he knew his dad would shoot. With his mother dead and dad in jail, he'd inherit the family loot. But time went by, no murder occurred. Ron couldn't take no more. He resolved to end his life by leaping from the 11th floor. The Opuses had found the note, which caused that evening's fight. So Ronald had directed his own demise. His timing was just right. He planned a murder, then a suicide, and though the plot got twisted, he succeeded at both, with only one Vic, if not quite unassisted. The M.E. ruled in suicide, strangest case he ever seen. Or like the man that offed himself with a Rube Goldberg machine. Thank you.
Let's get everyone unmuted and give it up for the urban cowboy poet. Find him on YouTube.
Yeah.
Yes.
CP. How you bring it?
That was great.
How you bring it, man?
Think about
When you come through.
The urban cowboy poet. Now, I know I'm being selfish when I say this, but I really wish that, like, the urban cowboy poet and Tessa Somo would go, like, on a buddy adventure, and then they come back and they tell us their stories. I would love to have that. Okay, so I've got Poetic Desire next and Catherine Sweeney on deck. Is Poetic Desire here? Yeah, I'm having a hard time seeing her.
Yes, right here.
I hear her. There she is. I don't see her. And I see her. Love your background too. Okay,
Thank you.
go ahead. The floor is
all right.
Where they can find you first, then get into
Yes. On Facebook, Poetic Desire, Poetic with a K. I do 6-word memoir site, and I'm Poetic Pisces on that. And I've been coming to New Yo on Mondays and Thursdays as much as possible so far. All right, 3 poems, but we're gonna start with 2 very short ones. Eyes of Love. The window to his soul, the window to his heart. His eyes of love say it all, we shall never be apart. The sweet look he gives to me, gazing deep into my eyes, reveals to me the once unknown, where love shall never die. My heart skips a beat, my body tenses up. Pure passion consumes my whole being. I must be in love. His eyes reveal the truth, his eyes, they never lie. His eyes of love will say it all. He always will be mine. All right. This next one is called Love from Afar. Adoring thy loved one from afar, making thine wish upon a bright star, longing to hold thee in thine arms, swept away by thy loved one's charm. Oft at times thine pass by thy loved one, seeing only thy beloved beyond everyone. gazing into thy loved one's mysterious eyes, hopelessly dreaming thou dost be mine. Gesticulating motions thy beloved one displays, leaving thine trapped in such dismay. Wondering if thy motions say what thou means, longing to hope thou dost loves me. Adoring thy loved one from afar, thine still wishes lovingly upon thine bright star. And then the final one for tonight is because love, this is more than just puppy love. Because you give me those jumping jitters from my head down to my toes, because my body receives shocks of vitality, awakening my subconscious beneath my torso. Because though everything about me screams she is womanly, I still fall victim to erections of resurrection. Because with each lingering gaze into your soulful eyes, I lose my breath, seeking lips of lustful resuscitation. Because with just one look, one touch, one single thought of you comes the instantaneous jolt, a self-sufficient jumpstart, because since you are what I feel I need to survive, you revive my whole being like a defibrillator to my heart. I have an appetite for you that just can't be quenched by these fluttering butterflies swirling in my stomach. I have a thirst for you, for your love that just can't be alleviated by those warm, tender kisses which leave me feeling more heated. I have this lovesick lullaby stuck on repeat throughout the day. Every single thought of you soothes my whole being in every way. I have this obsession to have you as my possession. What I feel, how I feel about you, goes far beyond infatuation. I have this undying passion to ravish you between the sheets for as long as it takes till my savage stamina depletes. I have this willing desire for us to make sweet, passionate love, unguarded by worries of unprotected, primal love, because in the glow of the flickering flames of a feverish fireplace, it's seen our love of silhouette of our two bodies entwined as one, absorbed in each other, lost to the world in a trance of romance. Our heated passion begins to rise to a climax, boiling over in love's cauldron. Consumed by each other's essence of rapturous attraction, we see no need to throw lovers' caution to the wind. Because love, this has become more than just puppy love. We've gone far beyond that with our committed acts of unwed sin, far beyond the novelty enchantments of an innocent crush. For I felt no worry of a love child born out of our illicit fornication. So don't be too surprised of our bond formed when in 9 months' time comes delivery of a lifelong purchase born out of trysts of our love liaison. Thank you.
Let's unmute. Give it up for Poetic Desire.
Ruh-roh.
Nice
That's
Wow,
what's
that
up, E. That's
was
what's up.
surprising.
Yeah, that was
Nice.
nice, baby.
That was great.
All you need is love. All right, I can't sing. I'm not going to ruin it. Poetic Desire, make sure you put all your info into the Zoom chat. Once again, I want to let you guys know that if you're enjoying this open mic, our next open mic is on Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern. That is hosted by La Bruja. We do poetry over there. We do music, comedy, hip hop, singing, all types of stuff. And on Saturday, I am hosting an erotic open mic. If you're interested in that and other things, make sure you follow me on all the social medias at Advocate of Words. That's all one word. When you spell words, that's with a Z. You know, poetic license. I'm from the Bronx, hip hop. So next up, I have Catherine Sweeney, and then we can get to Mr. Speaker. And I don't know if we're going to be able to get to anyone after that, but we're going to try. But let's unmute Catherine Sweeney. I swear, Catherine here. Catherine better be prepared today, because
I am prepared.
Yep. I know you
I
were
am.
on the waiting list. You weren't sure if we get to you, but okay.
I know. Today I was prepared.
Let the people know where they can find you, and then let's.
Oh yeah, you can find me at Kate Renaud. You want me to put this in there right now? I want to go fast. It's a short poem anyway. On Instagram. This is called Phone Call. I actually wrote this like a day ago, so it's very new shit, and we'll see if it lands. Phone Call. It is not the promise of, nor this endless exercise in noticing, not the perfect stones I pluck from the sand for worrying, a decaying metal trash can brimming with marigolds. Not the bark strip pine it leans against for support, the bay churning with slush, or the bend and canyons of your childhood, paths that seem to lead straight into the sun, a wheelbarrow lined with succulents, the wind licking my hands each morning, our moon unwilling to give up the sky today. It is the way you speak, directly into the slow bed of want that pools between my legs, the suggestion of desire heavy in my ears, that wet means not being at once hot and cool, how you have before filled my body, and the reverb still shakes me at the root.
Let's unmute everyone. Give it up for Catherine Sweeney.
Oh,
Catherine, that
don't
was
worry, that
excellent.
landed.
Loved
Catherine.
it.
Landed.
Hell yeah, come through with the reverb. Come through with the reverb.
What elemental said? What elemental said? What elemental said?
And so well prepared too.
What elemental said? What elemental said?
It's the reverb. No more joking about class for Catherine Sweeney playing hooky. Now it's gonna be the reverb. I love it. Catherine Sweeney, she has become a mainstay here in the Monday night online open mic. I love having her on, and I'm glad that she is prepared this time. And I say that because for those who missed it last week, she was on the waiting list, but she stayed to the end, and she didn't even think she was gonna get on. She just wanted to hang out with us. Then I called her name, and she's like, I'm not even prepared. I'm just doing it with you guys. I love seeing that from the community. Catherine Sweeney, love having her on. Next, we have Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker has also brought Marissa Prada. Marissa Prada has brought a bunch of people. You see, it's like a pyramid scheme. So, is Mr. Speaker? There he is, brother. Let the people know where they can find you, and let's hear your stuff.
Come here on Monday nights. That's where you find me. Let's go. So, totally different swing on this bad boy, but hey, it is what it is. See the poetry. Do you know what your eye color actually means? Everyone has eye color ranging from black, brown, hazel, blue, gray, and green. Here is some eye color knowledge with a few generalities. I will tell you what your eye color says about your personality. Gray eyes mean you portray deep inner strength, not generally affected by external pressures. You are more sensitive and you have the capacity to manipulate yourself in accordance with your environment. Black eyes mean you are extremely sensuous and extremely secretive. It is an uncommon eye color, and you are not great at sharing things about yourself or your life with others. See, and that's why I don't have much more to say about black eye color. Hazel. Hazel eyes mean that you have sensitivity and empathy toward other people. You are fun-loving, usually beautiful, and tend to have an extremely unusual relationships, but your relationships tend to be brief. You are different and love trying new and innovative things. You like taking chances, and you hardly ever shy away from accepting a challenge. Green. Green eyes you are spiritual in nature, creative, vibrant, and compassionate. You have long-lasting relationships, and you possess probably the most amount of love whenever you are in a relationship. And you are known for being incredibly good looking. Brown. Okay, most brown eyes mean you are more grounded and not swayed by materialistic needs or behaviors. You tend to be close to nature, independent, kind, and mentally tough. You are incredibly attractive, adorable, and your aim is to make new friends. You love cheering others up, and you are reliable. And you will do anything for people that are special in your life. Blue. Blue eyes are called the most beautiful eye color and they are known for being extremely good looking. They have long-lasting relationships, and they make others feel satisfied. Assertive, straightforward, full of life, and an acute sense of observation. So try not to deny or cry as you look high in the sky at the shy but sly guy wearing a tie who is your ally and flies by and dies. That's a lie. Right before your colorful eyes. Don't ask me why. In peace.
Let's unmute everyone and give it up for Mr. Speaker. Make sure you check the chat.
Mr. Speaker, that was dope. Awesome, Mr. Speaker. I love it.
Mr. Speaker. I got to make sure that you check the chat. A lot of people were saying nice things about you, and they like your eye color. And I read not too long ago that scientists believe that the original eye color of humans was blue. So they believe that the original humans had very dark skin and blue eyes. And that's crazy to me because today we consider that like an exotic look when some scientists are saying, hey, that's supposed to be the original look. So I want to thank everyone for coming on tonight. We're going to do it again next week. Our theme is breakup. Next week is breakup, the day after Valentine's. I hope all of you have a beautiful Valentine's. I hope you come to the Erotic Open Mic on the 13th. Again, thank you very much to Chris Lopez for running tech tonight, for giving up that great date. Chris, you're an awesome dude. I wouldn't do the same for you. So thank you so much for coming on and doing the tech for us tonight. And that's why we're going to make sure that we end by 10:30 on the dot so we don't keep Chris any longer. Make sure you follow the New Eureka Poets Cafe on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, all that good stuff. If you want to rewatch some of the poems that you heard tonight, if you're on the open mic list and you want to see how you did on the camera, you can go and check us out on Facebook and YouTube. That is where the show is recorded. So with that being said, and also, I want to thank everyone for dealing with tonight. Tonight was awesome, and I had so many technical issues, and all of you just made it really good. Every time I have problems in my real life on a Monday, I know we're gonna have a great show. It just works like that, you know, it just works like that. So, but I'm gonna try to have better Mondays. Just want to let you know I can't keep taking L's on Mondays, man. So, with that being said, good night, sweet poet. Thank you for sharing what you've written. Good night, sweet poet. Thank you for taking the time to listen. Good night, sweet poet. May your dreams be as imaginative as tonight's poem. Good night, sweet poet. Thank you for inviting the spirit of Miguel Agari into your home. This has been the Monday Night Online Open Mic presented by the New Eureka Poets Cafe. And once again, I am your host for the evening, Advocate of Words. Okay, it's time for me to go and try to work on this laptop. Mr. Chris Lopez, thank you, brother. It's time to end the transmission.